So, you're working out at home, you don't have any exercise equipment, but you want to make the exercises harder. You're finding that using your body weight just isn't enough. No problem. You've got plenty of things in the house that'll allow you to make an exercise harder. I'm going to demonstrate this exercise with a 5-gallon bottle of water, which is over 40 pounds. It's close to 45 pounds. This exercise is called a Zercher squat. Okay, so if you imagine this is a barbell, it's a dowel rod, but let's assume it's a barbell. All you'd be doing is you'd be holding it in the crook of your arms and squatting. If you're in a gym, you have a barbell, you can put as much or as little weight on the barbell as you want. When you're at home, you can do something similar by just choosing the weight you want to use. And let me say, you don't only have to be limited to a bottle of water here. You could use a duffel bag full of books, which means you can put more or less books in to make it heavier or lighter. You can use a box with books in it, or like a box of office paper, so you can take some of the paper out, put some of the paper in to make it heavier. If you put more in, and lighter if you take some out. There's lots of options, but I'm going to demonstrate this with a bottle of water. First off, proper squat form. Feet shoulder width apart, toes pointed out 10 to 15 degrees. As you're squatting, I want you to remember that your toes always go in or your knees always go in the direction of your toes. What I see with people who have flexibility issues and or strength issues is that sometimes at the bottom of the motion, when they start coming up, their knees will come in like this. In rare cases, their knees might go out. You want your knees to stay directly in line with your toes. It shows that there's a muscular imbalance, or potentially you may be using too much weight too, and that's certainly the case if you find yourself kind of twisting and turning as you're trying to get up. Don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that. Reduce the weight. Talk to your trainer. Your trainer will try and figure out what the problem is. May prescribe some stretches, may prescribe some remedial exercises for muscles like gluteus medius on the side, which may not be working the way they should, or they may not be strong enough, or he may refer you or she may refer you to a chiropractor, an osteopath, or a physiotherapist, something like that, to get to the root of the problem. But proper squat has to do with me staying on my heels, my core is tight, my shoulder blades are pulled slightly apart so I have a nice straight back and I'm looking straight ahead. And I want to remember that my hips go back at the beginning of the motion and they come forward at the top of the motion. My knees and my hips bend at the same time and they straighten at the same time. I breathe in, out, in, out. Maintaining that straight posture, not slouching, okay? Especially when you're doing this Zercher squat, holding onto this. Don't slouch. Keep that core tight. Keep those shoulder blades pulled apart, okay? And remember, stay on the heels. So, even as I bend down to pick this bottle of water up, I want a tight core, I want a straight back. I want to be always thinking about protecting my back. Safety, safety, safety. So I'm tight. I'm going to roll it over like this. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to hold it like so. And I'm going to squat. Breathe in, out. Okay? So, if you find you start with maybe bottles of water, these are 2 pounds each. You graduate to a gallon bottle of water, which is about 8.5 pounds. And maybe then you're holding on to 2 8.5-pound gallons of bottles of water. And you're like, this is way too easy. You can then start graduating to this sort of thing. But remember, for in-betweens, you can use boxes with stuff in it, okay? So there it is, a Zercher squat using a heavy bottle of water or anything else you might want to that you find around, the house.